Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today on the bench I have surprisingly the first mechanical Seiko I've ever bought. I needed a non-vintage everyday watch that I didn't have to worry about banging around, and the Seiko 5, specifically the 7S26 models, really caught my eye. I was looking through the service manual for these, and they are one of the simplest day-date automatics I've ever seen. A normal automatic winding module on a vintage watch has around 10 to 12 parts, but the 7S26 models only have 6 parts. The same goes for the calendar complications, having 16 parts total, which is comparable to the 20 parts of the day-date complications on the ETA 2834-2. I'm not the biggest fan of the lack of manual winding, but the magic lever winding system is incredibly efficient, and when worn every day will keep the watch sufficiently wound. The watch case has a bit of gunk buildup, but nothing too extreme. Both the front and back crystals are in good shape, and the case is fairly scratch-free. The band is similarly dirty, but in good shape. Let's get the back off and get a look at the movement. It looks like there was some gunk trapped under the gasket. Hopefully there's no moisture damage from that. I'll remove the stem, which is done by putting pressure on the setting lever. The stem looks good, as does the case tube gasket. Now I can decase the movement and get started on the service. The day wheel is held in by this clip here, which can be lifted off. Rodico is useful for removing these plastic parts without damaging them. Now I'll remove this retaining plate, which is held in by these 4 screws. The day wheel's jumper spring is integrated into the dial guard, as is the driving wheel. Now I can remove the date wheel, making sure not to touch the numerals. Next up is the date jumper. I'll remove the day-date corrector wheel now, again using Rodico. There's a lot of debate on plastic and watches, but I think it makes sense to use it for the calendar driving wheels. Next is the hour wheel. Followed by the intermediate driving wheel. And the date driving wheel. Now I'll remove the minute wheel and the canon pinion. Last but not least is the clutch wheel and the intermediate wheel for the calendar. That's the dial side complete, so now I'll remove the dial spacer and get to work on the rest of the movement. I'll start by removing the second reduction wheel. This is what the magic lever interacts with to wind the movement automatically. Now I'll unscrew the ratchet wheel and remove it. Next is the balance assembly. I should note the tweezers I'm using are made of nickel and not steel. They're only a little bit harder than brass. The pallet fork bridge is next. This pallet fork is crazy looking. I'm going to put a close-up picture here to show you. It's got some super tiny cutouts, presumably to make it lighter. That's really impressive. The magic lever is held in by a clamp from the underside, so I'll need to remove this bridge in order to remove it. Here you can see the clamp, much like the one holding the day wheel on. Here's the magic lever. It's on an eccentric pivot, which allows it to rock back and forth. Now I can remove the gears and inspect them. The click spring is friction fit into the base plate and needs to be removed before you can remove the barrel. All of the gears and jewels look good. Finally, the setting lever spring, yoke, and setting lever can be removed. The mainspring looks fine, so that can be reused. And that's the watch fully disassembled. I'll be back once it's reassembled and ready to go. Here's the movement, cleaned and running well. The service manual calls for oiling the pallet fork pivots, but I will respectfully disagree with Seiko on that. The only time I ever oil the pallet fork pivots is on 7-jewel pocket watches, and that's to help reduce wear on the bushings. Here's the watch cased up and completed. These movements are reported to have an accuracy within -20 to +40 seconds per day, and when worn mine gains around 5 to 8 seconds per day, so I'm happy with that. If you're getting into watch repair and you're comfortable with an ST3600 movement, I think that this is a good next step. These are one of the easiest automatics to work on, so if you can, I'd recommend trying it out. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.